Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today we have a few new VR game releases to go over. Starting in August, Meta will be doing away with App Lab, allowing early access titles onto the official Quest store. And finally, we'll be discussing what's the next big thing coming to VR. Now, there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by my sponsor, Kiwi Design. Kiwi has accessories for all of your favorite headsets, and they finally started releasing some new products for the Quest 3. On screen, we have their brand new extra comfy Quest 3 Elite strap. I've been using head straps from Kiwi for years now, and they're hands down my favorite. There's a link to Kiwi down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support my channel. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world. Well, I'm getting ready for a lengthy vacation. I'm going away in about 12 days now, and I'm going to be gone for 16 days. So there's not much coming from me in the month of July. So I'm just trying to get some extra videos ready for you guys to keep you entertained while I'm gone. And these are really big videos I'm working on, so I hope you'll enjoy them. If you have any suggestions, you want to see any games before I leave, let me know. Drop those comments now. I could put together a few extra videos before I'm gone. So just let me know what you guys are looking for. But for now, let's just move into the new releases. First up, we have the meme-inspired series of mini games called Leeroy. Some of the most viral clips and biggest internet memes have now been turned into a series of mini games. Now, this title actually surprise dropped on App Lab last week, and I'm pretty sure no one knows it exists because it doesn't even have a single rating yet. This game supposedly drops you into a virtual universe where you'll need both quick reflexes and a sharp sense of humor. Now, honestly, my expectations for this game are just in the toilet. I'm not expecting anything good at all, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. And if you want me to cover this in my first impressions video later in the week, let me know down in the comments. For now though, let's move on to the games that are actually releasing this week. First up is the Exit 8. This is a truly unique walking sim where you find yourself caught in an endless underground passageway. Now make sure to keep a keen eye out for any changes because it's the only way you'll ever exit this endless passageway. Now that was definitely an interesting way to start off today's list, and I do want to mention the fact that this title previously released on PCVR and has extremely positive reviews. So it is a small experience. It's only going to be $5.99 when it releases. But I got to say, guys, people love this. It's just really unique and wacky. And yep, I guess I'll have to give it a try. But as unique as that title might be, I'm more excited to get into the Infinite Inside. This is a trippy puzzle experience that's playable in both mixed reality and full virtual reality. Obviously, if you want to give it a go in mixed reality, you're going to need a Quest 3, and all other headsets just get the full VR experience. The Infinite Inside was developed by Maze Theory, the same studio that gave us the Peaky Blinders and Doctor Who titles, and they previously made part of this game available on App Lab, where it racked up a lot of extremely positive reviews. So if you are a fan of puzzle titles and want to see just how good they could get in mixed reality, make sure to check out the Infinite Inside when it releases on July 12th. Now, I'm not exactly sure if my excitement increases with the Death Game Hotel or just my intrigue. This is basically a story-driven experience about the world's deadliest game of poker. Instead of chips, you're actually going to be sacrificing your own body parts. Now, if this looks or sounds absolutely bizarre, well, guess what? You're completely right. This one looks crazy and I just have to try it. And if single player is not for you, you could also take that Death Game 2000 to the multiplayer arena. So bet your finger against your best friend. I don't know, guys. I gotta check this one out. Now, in additional game news, we also got a glimpse at the upcoming title Attack on Titan, and opinions seem to be very mixed on this one. Months after only getting a CGI trailer, we finally have some gameplay, and it appears not a lot of people are impressed. They've also announced that the game will be releasing in early access later this month for only $4.99, and that actually gives me more pause than the gameplay footage. Now, unless the VR game in question is something like Half-Life Alyx, titles never really look good in a flat screen trailer. Or at least they don't look remotely as good as they do in game. And I always explain this to people. You can't say, oh, that's last gen graphics. That looks like PlayStation 3. Nope. Once you get in game, it's much more immersive. It looks much better. So I'm willing to forgive how it actually looks. And I know the huge Attack on Titan fans are always going to have something to complain about. The, design choices, whatever it may be, they're going to have something to be annoyed about. I'm not one of those huge fans. I'm not super familiar with the source material, so I can let a lot of things go. What's most important to me is the mechanics and is it fun? And here I think there is some potential, so I'm still pretty excited about this title. But this $4.99 release early access going on, that's weird. That's unique. And sometimes this happens when they just like need more money to keep funding the game to get it ready for release. So I don't know. That's a big question mark for me, and this could go either way. Now, before we get into today's main topic, we just have two cool little updates coming from Meta. Starting in August, they are doing away with App Lab and will begin to use an early access tag. Now, this might not sound like much, but this is actually a pretty big change. I can't tell you how many times in the past I talk about an App Lab game and the comments are, I can't find the game. Where the heck is this game? You know, that game doesn't exist. I've heard that time and time again in my comments, and that's because traditionally, when you go to the Meta store, you type in an App Lab game, it doesn't come up. Now, they've made changes to that over time, but historically, you could not find App Lab titles. Additionally, the whole App Lab concept, what's the Meta store? What's App Lab? I shouldn't get things off of App Lab. That's not the official Meta store. It just confuses people. So now they have that early access tag. You know, a game will be in development, and you can filter between early access and not. So you could turn it off if you're not interested in trying games that are still in development that might have, you know, sketchy performance or whatever the case may be. So this is the best of both worlds. We get more visibility for developers' games, and people understand what they're viewing that much more. So good change there. And probably an even better change is not for App Lab, but comes to developers. Now, previously, only certain developers, when they were making mixed reality projects, had the ability to turn off the boundary. And when you're playing mixed reality, you don't need the boundary because you can see your environment. The boundary just becomes a headache. Well, Meta has now given all developers the option to turn off the boundary for any mixed reality app. But let's get into today's main topic, and that's what's the next big thing for VR? Now, historically, I've seen this question a ton of times, and it comes up a lot during my live streams. People ask, what does VR really need? What is the feature you want to see? And I generally say, listen, the technology is good enough. What we need is better software. However, my opinion is starting to change a little bit. What I think we need right now is anything that helps VR grow. Whatever makes it bigger is in our best interest. Because just like anything else, like when the iPhone got really popular, all of a sudden everyone wanted to make an app for it. You go all the way back to TV. You know, there used to be just like 7 channels. Now there's like 7,000 channels. So when something becomes popular, more and more people are going to buy in and produce high quality content for it. So what we truly need is whatever brings it to the next level. And Meta has been working on a ton of different prototypes, but currently what looks the most promising is a varifocal lens. Now, without getting too technical on this, it basically gives a VR headset the option to have multiple focal lengths. And ideally, it would work more the way your eyesight actually works right now. When you're staring at something, it's clear, it's crisp, and everything else off to the side doesn't need to be that crisp because you're not looking at it. You can't pick up on the details. Now, there are some different methods where we've already tried to do this. There's fixed foveated rendering, where the sides and bottom will have a lower scale resolution, but honestly, that's a little glaring. You notice it, sometimes it looks pretty horrible in game. Now, the PlayStation VR2 does dynamic foveated rendering based on eye tracking, but for whatever reason, Meta doesn't seem to be completely sold on this technology just yet. But what actually makes a varifocal lens so appealing is the fact that it can potentially fix one of VR's biggest issues, namely poor mobile performance. I'm 100% convinced that if you could get PCVR quality games on a standalone package, VR would become much more appealing to the average gamer. The comments I always hear are like, no, the games are just too casual, or they look old school, the graphics suck on Quest, and that's why I'm not interested. Now, I also think the separation is much bigger. I always talk about how VR gaming is very different than flat screen gaming, and I don't think we'll ever convert everyone. I don't think it's the future of gaming. I think it's a supplemental form of gaming. But VR in general is breaking into a lot of different areas. And we know Meta's approach is they want the VR headset or the Quest to become the next computing platform. They want you to use it like you use your cell phone. So 10 years down the road from now, you don't have a clunky headset on. You have a pair of semi-sleek glasses on that can do a whole bunch of functionality. They could take pictures for you, record video, give you directions, translations, watch YouTube videos, or, you know, Netflix, whatever you want. It's your mobile viewing station. It's your supplemental tool to help you with a bunch of things, and it's also, you know, Meta's super duper data collection device. But that's a different topic. So that's their end goal, and a technology like this helps us get there. And like I said, what we need is whatever helps VR grow. Now that was today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Thumbs up. I love hearing your feedback, so make sure to leave a comment. And like normal, I'll see you guys on next time.